Everyone, welcome back to Mamta Nival tutorial. And guys, in this video we're going to start a new chapter number 14, and the name of the chapter is water. Okay, what we need to focus in this chapter: first, what is the use of water, second will be the water cycle, and third will be the conservation of water. This is the important points which you need to focus more on. Okay, first of all, we talk about the use of water, where we use water in our daily life. In cooking we use water, like in cleaning the utensils, or the cleaning the floor, or we can say that the washing clothes. We require water a lot in our daily lives, even in the bathing process, or in drinking, or in brushing, or toileting, or even the watering the plants, or we can say that in industry work also they require water. So the use of water is very common in our day-to-day lives, so it is very important resource which we need to conserve a lot. Okay, there is a simple example also in the NCERT books, like 2 glasses of water is required to make 1 page of a book. So this is a huge amount of water which we are using to make only a single page of a book. So that's why we require a lot of water. Okay, and from where this water is coming, it is coming from the rivers, from the spring or pond, or we can say that well. Okay, these are the well and the hand pumps. These are the source from where we can get the water for our daily use. Okay, sometimes all these water can be supplied through a network of pipes. Okay, and through which we get the water from our tap in our home. Okay, so from where the tap water is coming, it is also coming from the rivers, springs, ponds, wells, or from the hand pumps. These are the main source, and this is the supplied source. Okay, now as we all know, our earth is the 2/3 portion of the earth is covered with water. Okay, 2/3 portion is water itself, but that water we cannot consume. What is that water? Is an ocean or sea water that is very saline, so we cannot, or we can say that it is not fit for drink or to do any domestic activity. We cannot use it for any domestic activity, or we cannot use it in the agriculture activity or in industrial activity. No, we cannot use them because they are so much saline. They have lot of salt in it and other component which is harmful for our body or for the objects which we are using in our domestic use as well as in the agriculture, like the plants. Okay, so there is a one property of water, is that whenever we heat the water, it convert into the vapors. This is the good property of water, and this property of water help us in the water cycle. Okay, to bring the water back to the ground. This is the water cycle, and this property is very helpful for this activity. Like for example, from where or how we can get water can be evaporated first. Water can evaporate. From where it can evaporate from the oceans. Okay, so all the ocean water will evaporate and the salt will remain in the bottom of the oceans. Okay, so salt will remain in the water, and the water will convert into vapors due to the heat of the sun. Okay, so from here we can get the large amount of water vapors, or we can say that water evaporate from oceans in a large quantity. Okay, from the wet clothes, the clothes which we wash and put it in the hot sunny day, put it in the outside wires, so they become dry because the water is evaporate from the wet clothes, and that evaporation is due to the hotness of the sun. Okay, wet road, if nowadays if we get a rain on the road, and the road will become dry after some time, because all the water will evaporate due to the heat of the sun. Or the rooftop, if we have any water present on our roofs, and that will also evaporate because of the heat. So all these are the evaporation, from where the water is evaporating and the water is converted into vapors. Okay, and one more step is the transpiration, from where we get the water vapors. Okay, transpiration is the process through which plants evaporate some water of its own, like from the leaves of the water. During the process of photosynthesis or making the food, the plants used to open the stomata, and due to that opening, some of the water is lost in the form of transpiration. Okay, so the water is water vapors enter in the air through the process of evaporation. Okay, evaporation, or we can say that the other process is the transpiration, which the plant do this process. Okay, now how this evaporation or transpiration can form a cloud, this is the main concept. Now how they form the cloud. To understand this, we should understand first, this is a beaker and this is the water contained inside that beaker. Okay, now we place some ice cube into that glass. Okay, because of that ice cube, what happened, this is the ice water. First the water will become icy, then it will make the glass cold. Okay, make the glass cold. Now what happened, the air around, or the air which surround the glass, that air contains some water vapors into it, and that water vapors will get condensed because of the cooler area near it. Okay, so all the water vapors get condensed. All the water vapor will get condenses, and due to that condensation, what we see some kind of a droplets on the outer side of the glass. So whenever we keep any icy substance or icy liquid in a beaker, we can see that there are some condensation of water which we can see in the form of droplet in the outer portion of that beaker. Okay, so these are the condensation, which is very important for bringing back the water again to the ground. Now what happen in our nature, when we heat air, what it happen, it will move upward, because whenever we heat anything, it will become light, and due to that light, the air will move upward direction. Okay, now due to the atmospheric nature, after that a certain area, what we feel that there is a cooler area. Okay, that area is little cool, so when it reach to that cooler area, it become cool. Okay, and due to that coolness, it will all the water vapors which is present in the air, they all get condensed and form tiny drops, and these tiny drops are known as the droplets. Okay, now these tiny drops will combine together. First of all, these droplets will form the clouds. Okay, they will float from one area to another according to the high concentration of the air to the low concentration of the air. It depends on how the clouds move. But first of all, we should understand what is the formation of cloud. How the formation of cloud it take place, because of the condensation of water vapors in our area, in the area of the atmosphere where the temperature is little cool, and due to that cooler area, the water vapor get condensed in a tiny droplets or drops, what we called it as droplets, and these droplets will combine together. 1, 2, 3 or 4 droplets will combine together to form a big one. So this is the large size drop. the large size drop is very heavy, and due to this heaviness of that water, the heavy drop, the drops will begin to fall and fall in the form of rain. So this is how the rain, snow will occur in our nature. Now from where the process begin? From the evaporation of the water vapors, and now again this is the losing water from the earth, and in the form of rain or in the form of snow we are getting the water back on the earth. So this is the cycle, and this cycle is known as the water cycle. Okay, now we will focus what is water cycle. These are the mountain region, these are the rivers, and these are the ocean region. Okay, just you need to focus. These are the ocean, these are the river, and these are the mountains. Okay, or here is the clouds. First of all, what happened? The water will evaporate from the oceans because of the heat of the sun. This is the sun, and because of that heat the water will convert into vapors, and that vapors will form some clouds. This is the cloud. Now what happened? These cloud will go to the mountain region, and here it start raining. Okay, because of that droplets, the droplets become heavy, and that heavy droplets will drop in the form of rain or the snow. Okay, now we can say that there is the snow. This is the snow, and after that this snow will melt into water, and that melting snow will combine in the rivers. Okay, here is the rivers. The snow will melt and convert into water, and that water will mix with the river water, and this river water again combine with the oceans. Okay, or fall into the sea or ocean. Okay, so this is how the cycle will keep on moving. So here this process start, and again it move to the same process again. So this is the water cycle. Okay, so now the concept is, when we see rainfalls, okay, in which season, what season we called it as monsoon. When the rainfalls are coming after the summer, the hot summer days, we will feel some relief from that the hot summer days, because of that monsoon or because of that rainfall. It is very important for us, even for sowing some or many crops which depend on the arrival of the monsoon. Okay, so for sowing also we require rainfall, but sometimes the rainfall is very heavy rainfall, and that rainfall will cause some kind of a damage also, like rise in the level of water in rivers, river, lake and ponds. They rise the water, and due to this water level rising, it will cause the condition which is called as flood condition. Okay, and that flood condition will damage our crops, damage what things it can damage crops. Domestic animals also get affected because of flood. Domestic animals, even the life of human beings, even the life of human is also in danger because of the flood, because sometime the due to the very heavy flow of the flood, sometime with the water, the animals as well as the human beings also get carried away with the water. Okay, so that also get us lot of damage. Sometime the animals which live in under the soil, these, because of their house get flooded of the water, and that water, because of their house is now full of water and they need to go out of it and they maybe die. So these are also the problem or the effect. The animals which live in the soil also affect due to the heavy rain, okay, due to the flood. But what happen if there is no rain at all? If there is no rain for a long period, what happen then? Still there is a lot of problems, okay, still we face lot of problem in it, like what? Drought conditions. For example, our soil is keep on or it continue of evaporation. We need to make the we need to grow plants also, so from plants also we get transpiration. So evaporation is continuous and the transpiration is a continuous, so that is the loss of water from the soil is very continuous. But we are not getting any water back, so that will make the soil dry, okay, and that dry soil may cause the water level also down, the groundwater level will also go down, or even the wells or ponds can get dry up because of the no rain, okay. For long time if there is no rain, then maybe there is chance that the wells and ponds will get dry up. Even the groundwater will also have the scarcity in it, okay. So all these conditions will lead to a condition which is called as drought condition, where we have very less amount of food, or there will be no amount of food as to eat for the human as well as to eat for the animals, okay. So there will be no food or no food left for us to survive. So that condition is known as the drought condition, which can be happen if there is no rain for a long time. So rain is very important. So how we can conserve this water? We are using the water for a very in a very high quantity, so we require it to conserve it, okay. What is the process of conserving? First of all, we can use it with care. This is the main process, okay, which every one of us we can do. We do not waste the water, then we can conserve it, okay. Second thing is the rainwater harvest. This is a process from which we can conserve the water, conserve the rainwater. It can be of two type, like first is the rooftop rainwater harvest, okay, and other will be the harvest, and other will be the roadside drains water harvest, okay. So these are the two ways from which we can harvest our rainwater harvesting, okay. Now what is the rooftop water harvest? This is our house, okay, this is the window and this is the rooftop. So here is the clouds, and the clouds are raining, and what we can do, we can pour these water into a pipe, and that pipe will connect it to a storage tank. This is a storage tank, okay. So all the water which is collected from our roof, that will be come to a place, and that place we called it as the storage tank. So in the storage tank all the water is stored, okay, all the rainwater will be stored. So we can use that water after filtration even for the drinking purpose or doing our domestic works. We can use this rainwater. If it is very high, we do not need to use that water. We can combine this storage the storage tank with a pit in the ground, okay, pit in the ground. And what the pit in ground do, the water present in the pit, that will seep into the ground and it will raise the ground level water, okay. The groundwater level will be increased because of this activity. So we can do this kind of activity also to conserve water. First is the whatever water or whatever because of that rain, we collect some water on our roof, and all these collected water is passed through the pipe to the storage tank, and from the storage tank we can utilize to our daily life. That water we can use it for our daily life, even for the planting, or we can use it in the plant or watering the plant. Okay, now we can use this water to the pit. Okay, the pit is not very, and through this seeping what happened, the all the ground, the water which is present in the pit, that will go into the soil and it will increase the groundwater level. Okay, so this is also a way. And second way is the roadside drain water harvest. What is this? We can, this is the road, and from that road whatever the rain get on the road, fall on the road, that rain will go, that rainwater will go into the drainage, and that drainage we can store that drainage water into some kind of a tanks, and that tank will help us to that water we can use for our other purposes also. Okay, so from the roadside area if we are taking that water, this is known as the harvesting, which we are doing is the roadside drain water harvest. Or second is the rooftop rain harvest, which we can do in our everyone can do in their homes. Okay, so these are the two ways how we can conserve our water. So this is all in this chapter, guys. I hope I have covered all the topics and you have understand all these concepts. If you have any doubts, please ask me in the comment box. If you like my videos, please give me some thumbs up and subscribe my channel, and thank you guys for watching this video.